G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. As you can see, the massive tiger, the massive blow-up tiger that was here this morning is now having a rest. They've deflated it, and there's nothing left of the mighty tiger for now, until they pump it up with some air and it comes to life again. I just laugh because I often feel like that sometimes. You get some negative feedback or something happens throughout the day and you feel a bit deflated sometimes, but that's life. Anyway, let's go on a bit of a walk and talk. It's lunchtime Monday in the city, and it's an overcast day. Looks like the whole week's going to be overcast and possibly raining. And as I've mentioned time and time again, it seems to be the theme. It seems to be the theme for the summer for this year. Last year we had bushfires, smoke, haze, heat, and all the catastrophe. And this year it's just cloud, rain, and fairly pleasant conditions, especially here in Sydney. Anyway, let's move down here to the International Passenger Terminal and continue our little book summary for today. And today's book summary is an extension of the author that I talked about earlier this morning during my morning tea. The author is Hal Elrod, Hal Elrod, and the book is entitled The Miracle Equation. Let's go over here and get a little bit closer to this deflated tiger. So the author in this book kicks off with a beautiful quote, and the quote that he says, which caught me by surprise, because I found it quite empowering and quite profound, and I hope you do too. So the quote that the author kicks off the book with is the following: "It's not the experience, circumstance, or event that causes our emotional pain, but our willingness to not accept life as it is and move forward that is the cause of our pain." So the author here will go through and talk about this point a little bit deeper throughout his book. And the key message from this book is that we all know what we need to do. We all know what we need to do to lose weight, to get fit, to get healthy, to build strong relationships, to be loved, to be loving, and all of those things. We all know what we have to do. But the difficult thing, the real challenge that we all face, is how do we go about consistently implementing the things that we need to do in order to get the results that we desire. Anyway, let's kick off with the first key message to come out of this book. So the author says here that you create your emotional pain, and it has almost nothing to do with what is happening to you. Because suffering is the direct result of us resisting our reality and dwelling on how unfair things are. So the author tells us here and implores us to consider, to choose to accept the things that are happening to you without resisting them, and it will free you. It will free you from the emotional pain and the chains that are holding you down and holding you back. A very powerful message there. I don't know if it was explained well enough, but what the author is basically saying is that a lot of us cause our own pain, and it's not because of what's happened to us, but it's because of the interpretation that we've placed upon it and the stories that we keep on playing back to ourselves over and over again, and the stories we play back to other people, to family members, and the stories that we never ever let go of. How many times have you caught up with people for the first time and all they do is just dump their stories on you in terms of their family, their friends, their hardships, and all of the things from their past, and you feel like saying to them, just let it go. Let it go and just come into the present and enjoy this moment that we have together, rather than dwelling on how unfair things are, or dwelling and worrying about your past, or being anxious about your future. So the next point to come out of this book is the author's take on what you need to do to become emotionally invincible. And we all want to be emotionally invincible, no doubt. So listen up and we'll see what it takes to become emotionally invincible. And it's, according to the author, it's a very, very simple step and a very simple formula. In order to become emotionally invincible, what you need to do is simply, starting from right now, is to stop resisting the things in your life that you can't change. And there are so many things in our lives that we can't change. So the important thing is to sit down and reflect and spend some time trying to identify all of those things that you can't change, and decide right here and now that you're going to stop resisting those things. You're going to let them go their course, and you're just going to do the best you can with the things that you can control rather than the things that you can't control. Because the bottom line is that there is no benefit, absolutely no benefit, in being upset about the things you can't change and the things you can't control. You can't make people respect you. You can't make people like you. You can't make people love you. You can't make people want to spend more time with you. You know, you just got to realise this, and if you can't control it, or if you can't change it, just accept it and move on, is the bottom line, rather than dwelling on it and paining yourself over this time and time again, and caning yourself into submission. But submission to the problem, as opposed to submission to just letting it go and just accepting it and moving on. The author reminds us that happiness is fleeting. Happiness is really, really fleeting. And the people who chase happiness are the ones who are going to be happy for a moment and sad for the most. What is bigger, better, stronger, and more important than happiness, according to this wonderful author, is peace, peace of mind. And once you can secure peacefulness and peace of mind, then that's when you know that you're invincible. And it's the most powerful feeling in the world, and it's the core to our Christian beliefs. As Jesus said to his disciples, peace be with you. The most important thing to find in our lives is peace. Once you have peace, then everything else is irrelevant. But peace, once again, is also something hard to get. So in order to get peace, we need to have unconditional acceptance of what you can't change. In other words, whatever God's will is, unconditional acceptance of the things you can't change. Listen to this. This is powerful. This is important. If you can't change it, accept it unconditionally, is what the author's talking about. And by accepting it unconditionally, you will rise above adversity where you can then focus your efforts where you know you'll have the most meaningful and lasting impact. So don't go chasing your tail. Don't go chasing other people. Don't try and change the world for things that are impossible to change or not going to naturally change. A very powerful lesson, and I don't know if you've got it, but it is something which is quite profound once you focus on it. So the author talks here about the 5-minute rule for emotional invincibility. And that 5-minute rule is, once you feel you've been wronged, or once you feel disappointed, unhappy, pained, what you should do is just give it just 5 minutes of your life. The 5-minute rule is to just stop, think about it for 5 minutes and get over it in 5 minutes. And all you have to do is, at the end of it, is just scream out and say that you can't change it and it's time to move on. So you need to say to yourself, according to this author, I can't change it. And that way you anchor it, that way you absorb it, and then you say to yourself that you need to move on. And by saying that and acting it out, it gives you closure and acceptance so that you can move on and have a better life. The third key point to come out of this book is that we need to focus our lives on faith and effort. Because if you've got faith and you put in the effort for the things that you can change and you can influence, then you'll get fruitful achievements. The key, according to the author, is to pick one goal and to commit 100% to that one goal at a time. And make a vow. Once you decide to do something, make a vow, but also explain to yourself and prep yourself that there are absolutely no excuses and that you're going to do whatever it takes through a series of productive and positive actions to do whatever it gets to get round, over, under, through the barriers of limiting beliefs and the things that are getting in your way. And lastly but not leastly, to keep on going even though your mind says give it up. So there we go. That's another book summary that we've been able to invest in on this Monday, the first day of the work week, on this cloudy but mild, slightly windy winter's day here in Circular Quay in front of the Museum of Contemporary Art. So thank you very much for joining me to go through The Miracle Equation by Hal Elrod. And let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's not hold on to the things that are causing us pain. Let's let them go and not dwell on the things that we can't change, and to understand that we need to become emotionally invincible. And the only way we can become emotionally invincible is when we unconditionally accept that we can't change things, and that we let it go and move on. You're going to find something else to fill your time. You're going to find something else to fill your life, and you'll quickly forget the friends, the family, the events, the workplace, all of those things that have been causing you grief, by just accepting it and moving on. So thank you once again, and I look forward to coming back to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment to help us get through the morning, get through the day, be the wind beneath our wings to allow us to live, learn and pass it on. Take care. If you like, you're from Jim's 5am Club, and we'll chat again. I've got one more to do and I'll probably do that after work today. Ciao for now, and bye from Jim.